You are watching
Trinity Episcopal School Production Network. TESPN.
Welcome to this week's TESPN Podcast. Really excited to be joined by three senior soccer players, Seth Mileski, Brady and Ryan Lloyd. Ryan is, of course, part of TESPN, so he's going to be kind of both roles in this podcast as an interviewer, and then we'll also maybe ask him a question or two as well. So as we filmed this, yesterday was senior day. Had a big win, 4-1 over Benedictine. It was a really important game from a state ranking standpoint. It's an important game because it's your senior day. It's an important game because anytime Trinity and Benedictine play each other in any sport, it's always a big deal, and that's a big rivalry. And you all both contributed hugely to winning that game. So first question is just, as you now just had your senior day, still a couple regular season games left plus the playoffs, but just how has it been being a senior, being a leader? Both you guys have played a ton of soccer in your lives at the club level as well as high school. So just what's it been like being leaders on this team?
I think it's been really neat because this year, we have a lot of new guys coming in. Last year we lost a lot of seniors. So a lot of people haven't even played soccer before. So I think it's kind of neat, like from where we started, the scene, like where we've come. Like when we played Benedictine the first time, we lost 3-2 in a tough game, but I feel like last night we were like a completely different team. I feel like it's been like a great effort from all the guys, even though they may not be the most technical, they like give great effort. I feel like it's been neat to see as like a senior leader.
Yeah, I think because a lot of the new players, I've had to become a lot more vocal. Like I don't think I talked that much on the field last year, but this year with the impression Matthias and all the stuff like that being the back line, definitely stepped that up. It's also probably my last year playing competitive soccer too, so I'm kind of just trying to enjoy the whole process.
Well, I think that's a great mindset, although you never know. I mean, I've been saying it's my last year playing soccer for like 30 years now, and you find a way if you love the game, but you got lots of playing left in you. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's never quite the same as with your teammates at your school.
Practice every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys. You guys have both taken on different roles this year. Brady, you kind of play more of a winger role last year with how quick you were, and this year you've kind of transitioned more into a wing back. And Seth, I know you last year were playing in the cam position as the number 10 the entire year and really never switching out of that. This year, you've played a variety of different positions from up top as a striker to as a center back. Just talk about how that position change has affected maybe the way you guys have practiced.
I always wanted to play in the back line. Left back is what I've played for probably a good few years now. It's my favorite by far because I love playing defense. So it's been really great to practice with the back line, and that actually translate into my playing because last year, I would practice with the back line, but then I would play in the wing all game. And so I didn't really know where I was. So I think I've, fit in a lot better there, and also maybe, as I said, to communicate a lot more and be a bit more of a leader from the back.
I'd say Cam and the 9, I kind of treat them the same. The 9, you have your back towards goal more, but I'm pretty comfortable doing that. And the center back, it's been a pretty easy transition, besides collegiate, but Brady and Cranny have been good helping me back there, kind of getting used to the flows back there. Yeah.
Seth, for you, one thing I've noticed, you take up a lot of different positions. Sometimes you'll kind of pull out wide to get the ball. You look really comfortable. I even talked about this on the broadcast yesterday. Like you're really comfortable along the end line. Like you scored from a seemingly impossible angle against Christchurch last week. And I'm just curious, like when you move yourself around on the field, are you just trying to find like that weak spot in the defense or just try and get on the ball? Or you don't even really think about it. You played soccer so much, it just kind of comes naturally.
Yeah, I'd say that kind of comes naturally, but I also like look for like the space. Like a lot of times when I'm on the wing, it's usually on the other side of the field. I'm trying to make them switch it. And then I usually have a one-on-one with their outside back, and I think I can win that most times. So it's not necessarily like looking at like a weaker player, although that would be a good idea.
And for both of you, it's been really cool. Just as a fan of Trinity soccer, the last year and this year to see you all's hard work pay off, and specifically for you two because you weren't playing school ball as a 9th and 10th grader with your commitments for RU, and then Brady, you were hurt most of your first 2 years, and I know soccer is a big part of who you are and your identity, and you weren't able to really show that. And then last year you all have a almost perfect season and get to the state championship, and both of you played a huge role. And then this year being senior leaders on a good team. I guess what's the question in this, Mr. Hamlin? I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, how rewarding has it been to finally be able to express yourself on the field, knowing, as both of you did as 9th and 10th graders, like you walk around school knowing like I'm a good soccer player, but maybe the school community didn't know that about you because we hadn't gotten to see you play in a Trinity uniform. Whereas now you are like, frontline sort of feature players on the team. How's that evolution been is what I'm asking.
I feel like my 9th and 10th grade, I was kind of losing my passion for soccer, and I was ready to give it all up. And I run to like the state championship in 11th grade. Like it was just a different atmosphere. Like it was more like a community feeling. I mean, I really miss the competitive feeling, but it was kind of like a different aspect of soccer that I've never seen, like actual student sections and people cheering you on. So I feel like that was kind of neat, and it kind of brought my passion back. So I feel like that's been pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, I say it definitely like revived my passion too. If I was getting a little bit burnt out from the club season, just kind of the family atmosphere of everything with the team. But yeah, I mean, for states, it's a great run. I can't say more about that.
And in the shootout against Woodbury, you guys both made penalties, right?
Yeah.
Still got to be. I don't know. We've been very fortunate since we started TESPN to have had several like amazing moments. Football state championship leaps to mind. Some great field hockey games. Obviously, the semifinal win against Collegiate, but that shootout against Woodbury last year, just the tension, the darkness. That's got to be right up there with the all-time like highlights that we've had. That was fantastic.
Yeah. So I just wanted one last question from me. I wanted to ask you guys, as senior leaders, and with Seth, you talked about kind of the maybe lack of experience that this team holds. What's one thing that you guys have been offering advice to those newer players who are just kind of coming into this sport? What are you trying to get them to do?
I think for me, we just had our senior day, and they ask you, what's your advice for younger players? I put always keeping your head up. But another thing I wanted to say, which really helped me a lot last year, especially in the state final, is I remember at the beginning of the year when you have, the other team's crowd yapping at you and saying stuff, getting in your head. I've been, telling the guys to just, you got to care more about the game, really, and not about other external distractions. Just really care about the game.
Yeah, I'd say like this summer, a lot of the guys, they came to pick up, and they wanted to get better. They wanted to make the team. So if they wanted to go out and get better, I'd go out there with them, give them some tips on dribbling, shooting. And also, I'd say, like I tell those younger guys, like this might not be your sport, but you can still make a difference on the team. Like I said for my advice, like don't have any regrets because you never know if you're going to get hurt and you can never play again. Like you never know when it's going to be your last game. So always give it out there.
All right, I have one more, I guess you'd say, slightly longer question for you all, and then we'll move into a lightning round. So it's about senior day specifically. Obviously, that's fresh in your mind. That was less than 24 hours ago. And Ryan, I want you to answer this as well. So in some ways, it seems to me like senior day ends up being perfect. Like, yes, you get behind, but Seth, you have 2 goals and an assist. Like I actually described on the broadcast, I said Seth had the perfect senior day. Starts at center back, moves up, has 2 goals and an assist. We're going to give you credit for that one goal that was maybe an own goal, but you were right there. Then finishes at center back. Like you completed the journey. And then Brady, you of course did what you're always doing, defending, running up and down the left wing, making tackles. Looked like they had their striker tried to get the best of you and was not able to. Big guy, your work in the weight room that you put in really was paying off, which we also made sure to shout that out on the broadcast. And then Ryan, literally the game ends, with you kicking the ball into the back of the net for the final goal in a 4-1 win. So just for each of you, I guess what I want to know is what do you think you'll remember about senior day, and then B, as you enter this last phase of your high school career, are you sad, excited, combination of both? Just where are your feelings in more of like a big picture toward soccer? But first, just senior day, reflect on it.
Yeah, I feel like it was super neat because I feel like everyone, like, no one really had a bad game. Everyone came together and we had like a really good team effort. Like Brady, Roman, our whole back line, they played really well. Joe Turkley had some big saves. I just feel like everyone had an all-around good game. I feel like that's what I'm going to remember. Like, we kind of came into our shell, I feel like, this game, heading into the tournament. So I feel like we're getting some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part for me was just when we were all taking that group picture, lining up with the whole team, and just thinking about, I don't even see, like, a lot of the juniors from last year, or juniors now, I don't even see them as juniors. I see them as seniors because they provide so much leadership too, and they're such a big part of the team. So I was almost surprised. I'm like, why isn't, Matthias up here? Why isn't Oliver up here? That's part for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be just kind of the excitement of the moment. And sometimes I feel like I get so into the games and let maybe the result dictate, and just how much fun winning is for me. And I know that's probably a cop-out answer, but the feeling you get when you win a big game is unmatched.
Taking down that flag.
And yes, taking down and being able to just feel that joy. And like Seth said, the student section's there, they're all cheering, and the joy of winning will forever outpace the probably distraught of losing. And that's why you play the game. That's why I play the game. That's why I play sports, is because that feeling of winning is so good. And last night it was amazing, and I got that feeling, and everyone was happy, everyone was there, and I think that's what I'm going to take into my life is just that feeling.
No, that's awesome. All right, let's shift gears to just lightning around. So now just quick answers, first thing that pops to your head. Let's start with who's your funniest teammate?
I think it's two. Yeah,
Pierce and Grayling.
Pierce, for sure.
Combination.
Who is the funniest coach?
Tyree.
Tyree.
I think Coach Yaz.
Yaz. Phillips too sometimes.
Phillips is
They all have their moments, definitely.
Phillips is unironically funny.
If you had Coach Clary, you might have a different
answer.
answer. What is your favorite class that you've taken at Trinity?
For me, it's psychology. That's a new class this year. It's really fun.
I'll say Guitar 3. I'm taking it right now. It's kind of fun.
Maybe environmental with normal.
And who would you say, this is kind of a maybe deep thinking, but who's your harshest critic?
I'd say myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be yourself. God, if I had to pick someone on the team, I don't know.
Well, Brady, for you, I thought for sure you'd say yourself, because I see in your body language through the years, like, you're a harsh critic of yourself for sure. But
yeah, I think that's important.
I thought for you it might be, your sister, but
for me, I mean, obviously you're always going to be your harshest critic, but it's been like the other seniors, especially the captains. So Seth, you, Hayes, and Jack, and not in a negative way, but I'll be on the field with Hayes, and he'll be pointing out directions where to go, and hey, next time don't do that, do this, and those things really help me in the moment.
Who's the opponent you most look for, or most have enjoyed beating? I guess you guys have not kind of completed the set the last 2 years of beating all the rivals. Who's the one that's the most sweet to beat?
St. Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to that, but my mom was on a meeting. I was at home and I was just yelling at my TV. Like, that's the most hyped I've ever been for a game on the television. I was so excited.
You were missed, I assure you.
Yeah,
St. Chris is unmatched.
And if you could live anywhere in the world and you had all the money, you could live wherever you want, where would you love to live?
Probably like Jupiter, Florida.
Jupiter.
Jupiter,
Jupiter, Florida.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Play some golf.
Probably.
I don't know where Tiger Woods.
Australia, maybe. I've always wanted to go there.
somewhere in the Caribbean, like Costa Rica or. That's not.
That's the Caribbean?
That's not the
I just
Caribbean.
sounds like the Caribbean.
No,
And,
that's in Africa, but good try.
I mean, Ryan, this one might be a little. The next question I have might be a little trickier for you, just because you didn't play last year, but you still knew a lot of those guys. But the 9 seniors last year, it's kind of a tough one. But who do you miss the most? Could be on the field, could be off the field.
I miss all of them, dude. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
I miss them all. I mean, I'd say Reed, if I'm being honest. He just
Reed's
added some.
hilarious.
He
Reed
added some
Williams is
comedy.
hilarious.
He added
dude.
some comedy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, one.
I mean, I can only speak to off the field and what I saw, but Ben Mills.
I was gonna say him too.
His attitude is.
He
just
really
second to
brought
none.
the sense of family to like the next level.
I was going to say Ben Mills because I always knew there was someone I could make fun of. And he would be a good sport about it. Okay, last one for all of you, and then I have one last one, additional one for Seth. In 10 years, where do you think you'll be? Brian, we'll start with you this time.
I don't know. I think right now I'm trying to major in sports management. I've done a lot of like internship work, so hopefully maybe something like that, setting up tournaments and stuff.
What I really want to do is go into veterinarian school, and maybe after that, I'm not sure if that's what I really want to do. I also want to. I've been thinking about getting like wildlife rehab, that kind of thing. Those are my 2 big ambitions.
I want to like major in finance. Like I want to go in like the hedge fund industry.
Well, I know where I'm coming in 10 years. If I need, if I need a loan, you guys are going to be. We got to have Ryan, running an NBA franchise, and Dr. Lang over here, the vet, and then Seth like living up in Greenwich, Connecticut, while he has a hedge fund in New York. And then Seth, I have to ask you this because this is our 3rd podcast in a row where one of our guests is a twin. So we had Gabby Strickler a couple weeks ago for tennis, then we had Thomas Strickler for cross country. You have a twin. So what is the best part about having a twin sibling?
I mean, I'd say you're obviously the same age, so you have like a lot of the same interests. And I'd say she like tells me when I do good and she tells me when I do bad, so I appreciate that. Like I don't want someone always telling me, hey, you're doing good. Like I want someone to tell me like the honest truth, and I feel like she's there for that.
And what's the worst part about having a twin?
I'd say sometimes you get a little competitive. We get a little out of hand. Yeah.
I can see that. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Congratulations on all of your contributions, not just to yesterday's win, but to the program. You guys have all grown so much in your 4, and in Ryan's case, 5 years at Trinity. And just as a teacher and a coach, it's been a pleasure to watch you guys grow. And good luck these last few weeks of the season. And it feels like the team's peaking at the right time. So hopefully y'all can get back to City Stadium again and give us all the thrill that we felt last November. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, guys, and thanks for everyone who watched. Ryan's going to stick around. We're going to do a quick Athlete of the Week segment, and stay tuned for that. All right, welcome back. We're going to do a quick Player of the Week segment. We've had a great week in Titan Athletics. Field hockey got a really important 4-3 win over Collegiate that leaves them in control of their destiny for LIS regular season championship. The soccer senior day win that we just talked about. And so, Athlete of the Week, Ryan?
Yeah, for me, I will go off your first point of field hockey. I think Ellie Johnson, she scored 2 goals in that 4-3 win over Collegiate. That rivalry, at least in the past, I think 4 or 5 years, have been 10 or so games, and I think we're tied at 5-5. I mean, it's such a competitive rivalry. Faced them last year in the LIS final and then the Vista semifinal.
Yeah.
It looks pretty likely that might be the case again this year. The number 1 and number 2 team in the Richmond All-Metro rankings. I think Trinity may, right now Collegiate's the 1. Trinity may flip that after the win. We'll have to wait and see where that comes out, but I think Ellie Johnson did a phenomenal job in her game.
Yeah, no doubt. And one of her goals was really, I think we might see it in one of the clips we have on our social media, but it was fantastic. So Ellie, she is a Davidson field hockey commit, one of the senior leaders on that team. So great job by her. And I'm going to go with Seth Mileski, who we just saw interviewed We just talked about the game he played yesterday. He started the game as a center back. About 15 minutes in, he moves further up the field. He scores 2 goals as well as assists a third. And that assist was, I mean, it's going to be the easiest goal that Ben Gravely ever scored. All he had to do was tap it in. Seth really set him up brilliantly. And then at the end of the game, Seth moves back and finishes as a center back. So Seth is my athlete of the week. Also want to give a couple shout-outs to Nathan Sims, who just committed to run track at Rhode Island. So that's awesome for Nathan. And I want to give a shout-out to Griffin Garnett, who played for Trinity yesterday in soccer, and he was a huge contributor. It was so fun to get to see Griffin show his talents out there on the field as well. So shout-out to them as kind of honorable mentions, if you will. But Seth, athlete of the week.
And Ellie.
And Ellie.
Co-athlete of the week.
Seth is mine, Ellie is yours, and Ellie is my runner-up, and Seth can be your runner-up. But yeah, they both deserve all the love this week. Last question for you, Ryan. Football tomorrow at St. Christopher's. Will you be taking that game in?
I'll be there. It's going to be nice. I talked about this on the Titan Takeover, but it's the first Richmond game that we've had, so it'll be the first time where we've had student sections at the 2 home games we've had, but playing an in-town rival is a different feel, different atmosphere. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'll see you out there. That should be, I think, a really good one. I think right now they're 5th and we're 6th in Vista for D1 football. A lot of implications for the prep league as well. I mean, I think the winner, well, certainly if we win, we control our destiny in the prep league. So that's huge. So excited for that one. 1:00 over at St. Christopher's tomorrow. And I think that just about does it for us today.
Just about, yeah.
All right, Ryan, thank you, my man. Congratulations to you as well, scoring that goal yesterday against Benedictine. That was a true highlight for us on TESPN. All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.